It has been a minute since we've just done a straight up freestyle. Yes, I recorded the throat chakra session and I posted that today. And in my members, I posted a message around communication and some things that are opening up with masculine and feminine energies. What I'm feeling and sensing in the energies right now is just how things are actually in process of changing. Something is changing when it comes to communication. And some of the things that I was kind of picking up is that some of you may be feeling pushed into new forms of communication or sharing your voice, sharing your perspectives. And my sense is that there's something actually new that wants to open up. And we're going to do it right here and right now together. So I just want to connect deeper and deeper, direct to source, our higher selves, Mother Earth, and to bring forth the most beneficial messages for you connected to the throat chakra and communication. As you can tell, it's kind of funny that my words are coming out wobbly, but I feel this is part of connecting to and channeling and harnessing and working with more and new energies. Okay. And let's just see what wants to come through. All I can feel is silence. Okay. They want me to dive into messages about the silence, whether it's years and years of silence, moments of silence, days of silence, weeks, months. Like I said, this feels like there's something in the silence. I'm hearing it's like this stillness and the silence is where so much is happening. So let's just see what wants to come through. So we have Fortune's Wheel, Luck and Right Timing, Jeweled Web Connectivity. This is really interesting because it's making me feel like there was something that was literally like disconnected. And I feel like this is like the divine disconnection with the communication. But I also feel where the counterparts may have done this to one another, right? It's like I'm seeing this vision of like pulling the plug. Um, but it feels like things are like getting reconnected in the divine way. Okay, so I want to bring forward messages, and I'm getting that this might be for some of you who are even in full relationships. There's something new with communication that's wanting to open up. And we know that a lot of times in these connections, oh, look at that. It's 23 and 32 as well. That mirroring. I know we know about like the telepathic communication and the energetic communication. And then we obviously have clearly verbal communication. But this feels like something different. And maybe it's something we already know, but it's coming to me. It wants to come in a new perspective, is what I'm getting from an energetic standpoint. So let's just see. Okay, interesting. Okay, so the first two that came out was the Four of Cups and Knight of Swords. And immediately the first messages that, popped out were like the feminine sort of like waiting and feeling like when is everything gonna come, and her perception that the masculine is like running. This is taking me to um the anxious avoidant energy that came up in the throat chakra session. And what's coming through is flipping the perspective. Instead of seeing this as the feminine waiting, it's the feminine actually relaxing and allowing herself to receive what's coming forward, what's ready for her in the present moment. And this is the flip perspective of the masculine actually moving forward towards his next levels. This is interesting because I did a member video earlier, and part of what inspired it was that there was a baby snapping turtle in my yard this morning. And he was okay, he was fine, but you know how we have that general idea that turtles move slowly. Well, he was there one moment. I left for a few minutes. I came back and he was long gone. And I had this sense that he knew exactly where he was going. He was here for a specific reason to bring me the message, and then he left swiftly. But it was that perception and even that idea of like turtles moving slowly. And what's coming to me is that if it's been years and months and weeks or whatever have you, and it's felt like it's moved very slowly, again, that's the embodiment process, right? But what's sort of coming through is that it might be happening slow. You don't feel like you're making as much progress as you're actually making. And then it's like this home run sprint at the end, and everything starts to move very swiftly, is what is coming through. So it does feel like whatever the communication has been, whatever you have perceived it to be, it's sort of like rewrite it, open up to something new. I'm not saying that you have to force it to be something. In fact, I encourage you to not. I encourage you to just release what it was and open up to new potentials. Okay. And even if you cannot see a swift, quick communication coming in, or, you've just gotten like, you know what, I'm just focused on myself, I'm not worried about it, or there's not even really much that I need to say anymore. So it is what it is. It feels like right now, the only thing that's coming through is to just open up to reconnection with communication in new and deeper ways. And what's actually coming through immediately when I say this, it's actually even reconnection with your abilities, your voice, your truth. And a lot that came through in that session isn't just about our vocal expression, it was about how we hear, because that's a form of communication, how we smell, how we see, how we speak, right? How we emote, how our chakra system connects and picks up information, which makes me think of this jeweled web connectivity, right? So, as we are working to clean up our own communication, our own internal communication mechanisms, and then we're opening up to rewiring into aligned forms of communication, clearing out the misunderstandings and the confusion. It also feels important to have that awareness of rebalancing and recalibrating not only how you share communication, but how you receive it. And what's coming through for those of you here with me, if you look back, you will see how much your communication has evolved. Okay. And so that's really important that you let go of the past versions of yourself, your counterpart, or whoever, because most likely they have been growing as well. And if not, then you're going to know once that communication restores, right? And then you can make your decision from there. So even if you're coming into contact with others that you haven't spoken to, or again, your counterpart, and you're ready to upgrade your communication style and system, and you have that communication with people from before, and they might not have changed, just let it be because you can still reconnect and reopen that and then decide how to move forward from there. But what that's doing is actually opening and releasing you to be able to move forward in new and deeper communication perspectives and experiences. Now, these cards came out together. We have the Seven of Cups, the Page of Swords, and the Sun. And immediately, this was coming to me as sort of maybe where you've closed down past connections and communications, you can start opening up new pathways, right? Ones that feel aligned with who you are. And you're bringing in the information of what you have learned in an embodied manner so that, again, you're not the same version that you were before. So the fact that your communication is different and your voice is different, it's going to automatically change the communication with the counterpart or the other person, right? Even if they have not changed, this may be that they're also needing to connect with you and have a conversation with you. So there's some information within that that they might be needing for their next steps and stages. Okay. And this sun card to me feels like where this information, this whatever is opening and the newness that's dropping in, regardless of what happens with anyone else, this is allowing you to embody deeper into all of who you are. And what I'm feeling is for those of you that are resonating with this fortune's wheel, luck and right timing, this is like where this is coming in. This is what you've been working for. This is what you've been, especially for those of you who have sort of just been mostly focused on yourself, your purpose, your goals, your health, your care, your immediate connections and surroundings. It's like, to me, what this feels like is this is the representation of where you have actually done the work to embody, regardless of what anyone else is doing or what anyone else is choosing. Okay. And this is important because, again, whoever is meant to meet you, be a part of your life, is a part of your plan, is going to sync up with you in that right and divine timing. And whatever is in front of you and occurring for you right now is an important part of that process. And this is taking me back to that original message where I said you may find that you are being called to use your voice, to use your perspectives, to share the things that you have been learning as a result of your initiation. And as you're embodying your inner union, sacred union container, you're holding that information and energy for yourself, for the connection, and for the planet. Okay. And you're going to know if this feels aligned for you because it's going to feel supportive. Now, if I'm talking about holding the sacred union container and embodying it and anchoring it and stabilizing it and working with it, and you're in a mind state where that feels exhausting or like you're overdoing, then I would say now is not necessarily the time for you to move into that. But if you're feeling an energy of like, yes, I want to embody into the foundation, I want to build a new foundation in the sacred union energies, and I feel ready to move forward with creating and building that container in the energies and for myself and open to what is aligned in my sacred union partnership. But I'm ready to start building that in the energies and in my life because my internal union energies are so imbalanced. Maybe it's not perfect 24/7, 365, right? But you get where I'm going. You're holding yourself, right? You're prioritizing yourself. You're handling your business. You're processing your information. You're not requiring a whole bunch of external things to validate all of that, right? Like you might still be getting it, like you might still be processing and connecting with people and having conversations and getting yourself support, but I'm guessing that a majority of you are getting the supports that are just a process that are supporting you to grow, like stepping stones, right? Like you've got a handle on it. And part of how you have the handle is knowing what actually supports you and being open to new supports, new perspectives, new ways of sharing yourself, your voice, and letting yourself starting to come out into the world in new and deeper ways. Maybe you're starting to support others in new ways, right? Or maybe you've been doing that and you're ready to expand that. Okay. So I feel a lot, actually, the more I touch in with this, I feel like communication is going to be opening up in a lot of new and deeper ways in a lot of areas of life for the counterparts. I do sense that for some of you, many of you, communication within your connection is going to be evolving and upgrading. I'm sensing as I'm saying this that it does feel like there's some new things opening up. And I'm sensing this could be your internal masculine or the masculine counterpart. It's making me feel like this is sort of like where they're busting out their truth, their voice. The inner masculine is sort of like taking the reins and getting to know their truth is what's coming through. And this feels that expansion with the internal masculine and the physical world masculine feels very important. And wow, like more wants to come with that. I'm going to pull one on that. What wants to come through about the masculine's voice? Hmm. Masculines want to go to the mystical shaman. This feels just the essence of what this deck represents. I don't even know if I have to pull a card. This feels to me like the embodied sacred masculine, where he is tapping into embodying, holding, feeling his highest self essence in his physical form. And I feel in this energy as I'm speaking that this is very much in process, but I can also see like that combo of where some of the shell, which makes sense with that snapping turtle that I saw this morning, like the shell of the turtle is literally a part of its skin, a part of its body. It's not necessarily about getting rid of the shell, but it is being able to come out of it and receive what's necessary. So this is actually coming through as where the feminine may be more, well, the feminine is the receptive energy, so this makes sense. Where the feminine may be having it like stream in, the masculine may be having it come from the inside out. Wow. Okay. This is bringing me back to the Divine Feminine Surrender video I did a few years ago. And somebody literally just commented on it today, which is what brought it back into my awareness. And it's so perfect because that energy is coming forward. Because in that message, I spoke about seeing a vision of where the feminine receives the energy and she's processing it. And as she is, it's sort of like the masculine is receiving the energy and the messages from the heart inside out. And I don't know, it's hitting. I might even have to go back and listen to that because I feel like more is kind of opening with that. And this also feels like confirmation. As I'm saying that, I'm literally hearing like the click, 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 click sound of almost like a safe being opened, right? So it's like Not necessarily about getting rid of the safe or the shell, right? But it is about that right combo, that sacred safe space to communicate honestly, honorably, openly is opening. And this is so perfect because that was what that whole entire session was about today. Okay. Actually, in that, like some of the things we worked with the anxious avoidant energy. We worked with secure communication and clearing up like over explaining versus suppressed silence and just a reharmonization, creating a sacred union, safe container for safe, honest, genuine communication. And there's something that is happening in the shared heart and throat that, wow, I can feel it. It's like it's activating this opening. And it does feel like it's in both, but it feels significant within the masculine. And that's what's coming through. Is there anything else that wants to be shared? If any of you guys want to connect with that message that I shared on my memberships, it's on the YouTube memberships and over on Patreon as well, depending on what you prefer to partake in. Wow. Okay. What is with this fortune's wheel, this opening with the masculine heart that feels very connected to the masculine communication? Okay. We have Five of Cups and Two of Cups. Given what I already spoke about, it feels like as the feminine has gone into the depths and she's seeding, allowing the light to come into her as she's open to the truth. She's open to the aligned connection. She's allowing herself to embody it and bring it into the earth, into the depths of the heart, into where that core separation wound was. This is actually allowing not only the deeper activation of her internal twin flame, her internal union, but like we're seeing here, this is sort of wow. It's like if the counterparts meet at that centripetal point in the heart space, if she activates hers, it ignites his, and it's allowing that to open. And it feels like her willingness to be open to the aligned connection is what is opening the aligned connection within him. It's it's like that green light. Okay, my loves. Wow. So as we went deeper and deeper into what is this communication opening, it is the communication in the depth of the shared heart space, in that centripetal point where everything is connected and can never be disconnected. And it's wow, I'm seeing it almost like as a circuit. It's almost like as if the sensor was just turned off and it got opened, like the energy circuit reopened and it's allowing it to sink back in. So again, you may feel this internally and you may feel it within your connection. And some of you, if you're experiencing this or it happens, I would love to hear from you in the comments if you're experiencing this opening within yourself or within your divine counterpart sacred union connection. All right, my loves, we're going to leave it there. I am going to put the Sacred Union, Stabilizing Sacred Union, seven chakra series of recordings that I'm in the process of completing. Again, like I said, we have from the roots to the throat at this time. I have a couple bonus sessions in there. And I said 8 weeks, but I'm sort of in this rhythm of about every 5 days or so, a new session is coming forward. And you are welcome to jump in whenever you feel guided. And I do suggest that you start from the beginning so that you can get the full energetic, stabilizing support that's powerfully coming through. I'll also put my one-on-one session, my Patreon and YouTube membership information in the pinned comment. Sending you so much love. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your patience. And that was fun. A lot of times, these sort of like, let's just jump in and see what opens up, these kind of come through a bit more in my membership areas, but I enjoy just letting the new messages open here as well. So I hope you enjoyed it too. Would love to hear from you. All right. Take care. Peace.